Bienvenidos a West Wing Week.
Welcome to the West Wing Week, your guide to everything that's happening at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue and beyond. This week takes us south of the border with the Vice President, to our nation's capital at the first ever White House Summit on Working Families, and along for the ride as a woman who wrote the President of the United States gets a reply in person. That's June 20th to June 26th, or POTUS Replies.
I'm pretty sure this is a silly thing to do, to write a letter to the president. But on some level, I know that staying silent
about what you see and what needs changing never makes any difference. So I'm writing you to let you know what it's like for us out here in the middle of the country, and I hope you will listen.
On Friday, the Vice President was in Guatemala for the last stop on his 5-day, 4-country trip to Latin America. While there, the Vice President met with President Perez Molina before a multilateral working lunch with officials from El Salvador, Honduras, and Mexico to discuss the issue of illegal immigration. President Obama started out his West Wing week by opening the Oval Office doors to Prime Minister John Key of New Zealand. He then invited journalists from some of the most popular network morning shows to the Blue Room to discuss the situation in Iraq, as well as equal pay and other workplace fairness issues that the president would address head-on at the first ever White House Summit on Working Families.
This is not just a women's issue, it's a middle-class issue and an American issue.
On Monday, the president met up with some new friends who were in town for that same first ever Working Families Summit.
How's it going, guys?
First order of business, lunch.
Okay, I'm taking the orders, guys. Give me the brown rice. Have the chicken.
The lunchtime discussion over burrito bowls centered on the steps they've all taken to manage the balancing act of work and family. From there, it was on to the summit, where the president announced a set of concrete steps to create more opportunities for hardworking families to get ahead.
Family leave, child care, workplace flexibility, a decent wage. These are not frills, they are basic needs. They shouldn't be bonuses, they should be part of our bottom line as a society. That's what we're striving towards.
Tuesday was President's Cup Day, and the President, Vice President, and Speaker of the House honored the 2013 President's Cup golf team, while Wednesday was NASCAR Day, with Jimmy Johnson and his Hendrick Motorsports team members at the White House to honor their 2013 NASCAR Sprint Cup Series championship. That evening, the President addressed the League of Conservation Voters, 1 year to the day after he announced his climate action plan.
Because that's the only way we're going to build the kind of future that we want. A future where we can look our kids in the eye and tell them we did our part.
On Thursday morning, the President boarded Air Force One to head to St. Paul, Minnesota. While there, the President's going to have the opportunity to visit with a woman who wrote him a letter talking about her family's experience in dealing with so many of the challenges that middle-class families all across the country are facing. So the President's looking forward to, after having received this letter earlier this year, now he's going to travel to Minnesota and answer it in person.
I'm so glad to see that. You touched me so much with your letter. That young mom that I mentioned who I had lunch with before I came here, who wrote me a letter just talking about how she'd done everything right, her and her husband. She's working hard and raising 2 beautiful kids, and she has a great life, but it's a struggle, and wondering if anybody in Washington knows it. You know, what I told her is the same thing I want to tell all of you, which is, I know it. You're the reason I ran for office.
You don't need a lot of space to grow a lot of food.
You really don't. It's just about good space management.
Yeah. And what if I just wanted this haircut? You think you can manage it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
35.
35?
Yeah.
Makes you look a little more sophisticated. Part of your fashion. Now, are you guys aware that my first job was at Baskin Robbins?
Oh!
No, I mean, I didn't have, if I had one of these, I would have worked there. But the point is, my first job was scooping ice cream. My first job that I actually, that one of you might be president.
Stay engaged with us online, and remember, you can find out more information about any of these topics or see complete videos of these events at whitehouse.gov. Thanks again for checking out this edition of your West Wing Week.
Well, folks, thank you very much. I'm going home.
Junior reporters, how are you? Well, do you want to guys ask me like one quick question? Yep. Just an exclusive. Give you an exclusive.
What's it like to be president?
You know, it's really interesting every day because I'm dealing with all kinds of different issues and problems. Sometimes it's frustrating because you know, there are things that I want to get done, but I need Congress to help me, and they don't always help. But it's really satisfying when you end up actually doing something that helps people.